inch long.
Yes! Clip that, Riley. Jason said that I'm smart.
I go to the gym to fight people.
That's awesome.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday Scramble. I'm Pablo Iglesias alongside Adam Mertz. We've got a little bit of a dreary Saturday, but you know what? We're here for good vibes. We're here to chill. Riley Liauk also here. We are live at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. An all-star lineup today, gentlemen. We have got Jason Wilde, as always, joining us after the Packers are now off today. The pads go on tomorrow. Training camp has begun. Dominic Cotroneo of the Brewers Radio Network scheduled to appear with us, too. The Alumni Home Run Derby going off. That was amazing. Can't wait to hear. He was also part of the call, too, with our WTMJ crew. You can go back and listen to that on their social media pages. It was electric to get to see all the Brewers of the past just go absolute yabo after yesterday's game. So we'll get to talk about that with Dom. Trade deadline's coming around the corner, too. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here on the Saturday Scramble. But before we get into all that, boys, I am in a dilemma. I am in a crisis right now, and I need some help. So I've been a part of several conversations right now, and also I'd love to hear from you too on this one. 844-770-3776 on the Carbless Talk and text line. List is more as I figure out this dilemma here on the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN. Been a part of some different conversations. We were at the start of training camp, and we had a full team. We had some part-timers. We had our interns who are rising juniors, rising seniors perhaps at UW-Madison. 20, 21 years old, young kids still, very sharp but young kids. And they came up with this discussion, and I asked Adam Mertz earlier today, who's again joining us out here. They have decided that UNC, if you are familiar with that term, is kind of like the older guy. I don't know how you would describe this, the older guy in the group, but you are UNC once you reach 30. I had just turned 30 this May, and I'm trying to figure out how I navigate through this. Another time this conversation came up yesterday, Riley Yauk and I were with our teammate Matt Hamilton, a gold medal Olympian, taking us out on Goldie Rocks, his beautiful boats across, which lake were we on?
I believe we were on Lake Wabisa.
We were on Lake Wabisa. That was awesome. But then I think towards the end of the boat conversation, or even when we actually went over to visit our friends over at Christie's Landing at yesterday's remote during Kyle Brust and Nortman, they were throwing out phrases, and Matt was saying, like, wait, what's this phrase? What's that phrase? And it was throwing us through a loop. And I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I'm at. Riley, I want to bring you in on this one. Riley Yauk behind the glass here at the Everlight Solar Studio real quick. Can you define for our guest host today, Adam Mertz, what UNC is to your best definition?
So, Mertzy, let me educate you on the slang of the youth these days.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I feel like, honestly, UNC's pretty self-explanatory. It's a shortened form of uncle. And
that would have been my guess.
Yep, and it typically refers to someone who acts older than their age, or someone old in general. Like, you could be like, you're Unc. But typically, it's used slightly derogatory, not super derogatory, but like, you're an Unc, man. Like, you're not with it anymore.
So like,
that's sort of
this hurts. The definition.
See, that makes it even worse. I didn't think it was to that extent. I just thought it was you just kind of called somebody who's like on the rise of being old, but they're not just old yet. So I feel like I'm at this in between right now. So this makes it even worse. And unfortunately, I didn't make things any better. I was listening to a lot of 80s music. I'm getting into the Happy Gilmore. Yeah, listen, man. I was listening to a lot of 80s music, man. Listen, I loved it. We had Magic, because I'm getting into that Happy Gilmore 2's out, so I started watching that and listening to that music. I think ABBA came on too, some Prince, the Bee Gees. I'm just
Is this where I break it to you that that's actually 70s?
Oh, shit.
ABBA and the Bee Gees.
Oh boy, this.
So
this is
you're
tough.
not young, you're not hip to the jive anymore, Pablo.
Thanks. It was a very humbling start. I wish I did not pitch this.
But you still you don't know what era these bands are from. So you're too young to know what the actual era is.
And you know what? This is not going to make you feel any better.
Thank you.
I'm 52. I'm 52 now, and everyone's like, "Oh, 50 was that hard?" No, man, you've made it a half century. That's like a badge of honor. 30 was my hardest year because you are not a kid anymore. You can't hide behind it. You're not there. You think you can hang? Pretty soon you're the old guy in the club. That's how it works. That's how it works, Pablo.
I'm the old guy in the club.
Sorry.
I was just. Is it IPT to admit that I was at a club last week too? Am I not allowed to be there?
But you have a youthful look.
A youthful glow,
I think you can
could
pass.
say.
I think you
do.
can pass with you could pull off like that 25, 26 yet, don't you think?
I think the youngest I got a couple weekends ago was 23.
Okay.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it.
I think, well, the other
That
humbling
childlike
thing.
exuberance.
I also want to hear from you out there, too, on the Carbon Talk text line, 844-770-3776. Have I reached unk status? How do I negate or push away from the unk allegations to try to make myself seem young or younger or youthful?
Or do you just embrace it at this
I know.
point?
Right. I feel like that's probably what we have to do at this point.
Riley, have you witnessed any unk behavior out of Pablo?
I think so.
What would you cite?
I would cite dabbing. I've seen him dab
Oh.
before.
Whoa! Hang on! No! This is a huge debate. I have been anti-dabbing. I have said.
Ironically,
That-
you're dabbing
No,
ironically?
I'm not even doing it ironically. Our teammate Chrissy Birdsall, who you hear throughout the week too, over on the board, she has been dabbing a lot, and I've been just coming right at her saying that we're not bringing the dab back. We are 100% not bringing the dab back. So don't push that on me. Don't put that on me. So you're 0 for 1.
Okay. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I feel like you just exude millennial. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong because I am a millennial.
Yeah, I
what
know,
do you mean?
but that now
I'm sorry,
millennials,
I am
you
what
are
I am.
very clearly a millennial. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just the era you're from. That's just who you are. However, that is being phased out. My generation, Gen Z, is taking over, and then even right behind us, you got Gen Alpha right at our tails with even worse slang, worse brain rot than we had. So I feel like you just have to embrace the fact that you are on the older side now. Comparatively speaking, for the young kid, in the eyes of the youngins, you are old. But
Thank you.
in the grand scheme of
Thank
things,
you.
you're
I'm
still
old.
young. In the grand scheme of things, though, you're still young.
So I just have to embrace it.
Yes.
Is
I
that-
think you
embrace
got to
who
kind of
you
run
are.
with this.
I have to run with this.
I think you absolutely run with this.
I do like turning around in this decade too, though. Being 30, it's like I have the couch. Shout out to our team over at Steinhoffel's, great partner of ours too. And it's like that was one of the moments where I'm like, I get excited about getting new furniture, redesigning my apartments. I'm also starting to just have this idea of like I really want a dog. I was hanging out with some friends last night at a dinner party
All right.
celebrating a birthday. I think that was also where the conversation came up too. But my friend,
if you're getting excited about a couch, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, next you're going to be in a Progressive commercial next.
AARP.
I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm the one who brought up this idea that I wanted to talk about this and maybe feel a little better about myself. And no, and I'm seeing family later today. Last week too, for those who didn't get to catch our episode, I had my uncle and my younger cousin who is 21, who's going into his junior year of college. Straight up, when I visited him in college last year, he's like, "Man, you're unk." I'm like, "Don't say that."
Okay.
And it's
There it
definitely
is.
More
going-
evidence.
And it's definitely going to happen later today too. When I see I'm gonna visit my family in the Dells. Hopefully, yeah, wherever you're at too. Let us know what's up, what you're doing this weekend. 844-770-3776. I just feel like I'm scared because I've got a younger cousin who's entering 5th year of college, finishing out his program out there, and then I've got a younger cousin as well, 2nd year in college, and I'm just like, man, I don't want to think about this. And then I have my nephew in his flag football tournament, and I'm like. I'm having a crisis right now. I did not expect it to be like this.
Wait, when now back up, because when you gave me
Yes.
that story, that sounded more like a term that was given with a degree of respect
there
from
we
your
go.
from your college
This
nephews.
is-
Like, man,
this is
you
why
can
we have Adam
still
Mertz.
hang with me. You're older, but you can still hang with me. That's what I got out of that story.
So it's funny that you say that. So Jesse Nelson, our esteemed teammate, as we call it, when we made the visit actually out to Bradley, we were calling ourselves Titans of Business, sports business, hence why we were at Bradley University, our proud alma mater. And I went to go visit my cousin Isaiah. He's a fraternity man. I'm also part of Greek life. We're in different houses. He did invite me to come see the house. And what was it? The night that we got in, he's like, hey, come see the house. Come see the fraternity house. I'm talking to Jesse. And I'm like, I don't know if I should do this, or it's like, should I go hang out with a bunch of college kids at the fraternity house? He's like, I don't know, man. It's like, it's pretty cool status that you're getting invited by the president of the fraternity to come see the fraternity house. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like do I need to live up to this big cat of Bradley expectation, essentially?
See, that,
right?
You just have to embrace it. Like,
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm the old, grizzled veteran now for people sort of my age, and just take that respect, run with it, be like, yeah, I'm Unk. And then when you're around, no offense, Mertzy, but the Mertzies of the world, you can be the young guy.
Right.
Oh, see, that's it. Make me feel like the guy. You know, it's funny, too, because when I was on a golf trip earlier this year, or earlier in June, I was the young guy out of the group. Some of them are married. One of my buddies has been married. He's got a kid now. And I felt like I was the kid, and I'm just 30. And I'm like, this is kind of awesome. I'm not going to lie. I feel like the baby of the group again.
Do they make Unk T-shirts? Can we get something for Pablo?
Oh, I bet they do. It would not be hard to custom make.
We'll just custom make one,
just
right?
a black T-shirt, white Unk, right across the front. Have it ready in a couple weeks.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, as I continue to age right now, the Packers are still the youngest team in the league, or one of the youngest teams right now. I've got a few guys after training camp. After the first few days of training camp is wrapped up, I've got a few guys that I want to talk about that have impressed me so far that we should talk about. That's all coming up next on the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
The ESPN Madison Open, presented by Coors Light, is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing up our bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. The ESPN Madison Open, also brought to you by Carbless, Zimbrick Honda, Siding Unlimited, Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, Clear Vision Pro Wash, and Vortex Optics.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck & Honey's. This summer, soak up the sun and savor the flavor at Buck & Honey's. Their spacious patios are the ideal spot to enjoy award-winning dishes, craft cocktails, in an unbeatable atmosphere. Perfect for a casual lunch or a night out with friends. Plus, with fresh seasonal dishes and exceptional service, they're here to make every visit special. Visit their locations in Sun Prairie, Monona, Wanakee, or Mount Horeb. Celebrate summer the right way, on the patio with great company. I'll see you at Buck & Honey's.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot games. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot games. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Ford and Metro Kia of Madison. Find the Metro family of auto dealers online or see them in person on the east side of Madison today.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Fans, here is the Quick Trip to the Ballpark ticket offer. Spend $200 at participating Quick Trip locations and get a free Terrace Reserve ticket to a 2025 Milwaukee Brewers home game. Check brewers.com/quicktrip for more details. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th. Play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. Grab one with hot food. That's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Just had this debate with a teammate the other day. What would you classify as middle-aged? A comment from our teammate Corey Sparks of the Beaver Dam office on the YouTube chat, too. This is Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz, live here for the Saturday Scramble from the downtown studios in ESPN Madison, the Everlight Solar Studio on 100.5 ESPN. What would you classify as middle-aged? Thank you, Corey, for not calling me middle-aged and clarifying that in the comments as I continued to have this crisis. Oh, man.
You're young for a midlife crisis, Pablo.
Thank you. Wait, I'm young, so I should be having a midlife crisis.
You should not be having a midlife crisis
Yet
right
I
now.
am. Yet I am. I'm not middle-aged.
Hey, they're great. What we're learning today is there are many positives, many blessings from being young and growing old, Pablo, so take that wisdom with you.
Seasoned veteran. I've experienced life and will have a lot more life to experience.
Absolutely.
Let's go with that. All right. Well,
Dad rock.
The Packers have wrapped up the first few days of training camp. They have today off. The pads go on tomorrow. Football is back. And what an exciting time it is. We got, again, why we started talking about a little bit of this Am I Unk conversation. Our ESPN Madison interns were talking about this at the start of training camp, which we were all at on Wednesday. And, man, what a fun atmosphere it was to just be around that and knowing that football's back. And thinking about what this Packers era is going to look like. Again, as you know, anytime you hear the cliches that it always feels like, oh, it's Christmas morning. And you can just sense the excitement, though, from these Packers. And I wanted to break down real quick, before we get over to Jason Wilde, too, who'll be joining us at 10:30 here on Saturday Scramble, like he does every week. We'd love to hear what he has to say. Mertzy, I think now I'm going to have a fourth honorable mention of the names that have intrigued me after the first few days of training camp. Now, I'm not saying that these are necessarily like the full players or the names to watch, but just some guys that really stuck out to me. So I will say the honorable mention, I wish he made the top 3, but this came up as a surprise. Didn't even realize that he was there until one of the reporters had mentioned that he's at practice. Nathaniel Hackett returning to the Packers sidelines. Yep. Honorable mention, but he's not helping out with the offense. He is switching over to the defensive side, and I think this really helps because you've got Bo Melton, who's probably going to seem like he wants to play both ends of the ball. We've got Travis Hunter at home. Apparently, that is what we're going to be calling him. But it seems like that Bo Melton is more focusing on the cornerback side. Maybe this is specifically for his development. Yesterday, too, Matt LaFleur, part of the Sports Center on the Road, talking about Jeff Hafley and the creativity of this defense. It seems like that a move like this could really be good for the green and gold.
I always enjoy when coaches flip to the other side of the ball because it's a chance for you to identify the tendencies and know how you think. You're able to just kind of do this reverse logic and spot deficiencies, spot maybe areas that you can exploit. So it's interesting to have him back in. Obviously not how he wanted his career to go, but nice to have him back in the fold in Green Bay.
All right, let's riff off to the 3 guys that I'm really curious to see how who have just piqued my interest after the first 3 days of Packers training camp. The first one, or number 3, let's go with this one, is Matthew Golden, of course. We know that this is going to be a big year for the rookie. We know that there's a lot of high expectations for the first-round wide receiver. And for a unit that dropped the most passes Look, he's looking pretty sharp right now. I know he's gone one-on-one versus Bo Melton, who's still trying to understand a little bit of the cornerback position, but he's been corralling some good balls. It looks like some good chemistry as well has been developed with Jordan Love. The second one as we move into Isaiah Simmons. And I'll tell you this. I think Isaiah Simmons could have the same type of, not an interception-wise, but the same type of impact on this defense that Xavier McKinney had. I think there's might be an ace up the sleeve. Now, this is a guy who was a former first-round pick. This was a guy who was highly touted. But don't take my word for it. Josh Jacobs even defending him and having a pretty strong statement, too. Here's what he had to say.
He's kind of a unicorn. He can run. We can put him out on, on guys in the slot, and he can cover guys. Really, man, I just can't wait to see him in pass. I want to see how physical he is. Obviously, I done played against him a couple of times, so I know what kind of player he is. But, it's different when you see it on a day-to-day basis.
Speed kills, and the pads go on tomorrow. So if he's already making this impact, and he's been watching Josh Jacobs like a hawk so far in their formation. So speed kills. The pads aren't even on yet. They go on tomorrow. I have some really good expectations for Isaiah Simmons. I think this is exactly what the pass rush needs, that one that was lackluster. So we'll see what Isaiah Simmons does. And the number one name that I think really intrigues me, he's not going to be a guy on the field. He is a guy transitioning, moving away from Mark Murphy and into this position is Ed Policy. The reason why I think Ed Policy's name intrigues me the most is because of this transition. What is this year going to look like? How much pressure is going to be on Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst, and Jordan Love? Now, I'm not going to power rank those three of like who has the most pressure on them, but I think those are the three big names, whereas even Jason Wilde has said, we'll talk to him and probably dive into that a little bit more, has said that Ed Policy does not like lame duck years. This is a year where if the expectation at Titletown, hence the name, that why it's called Titletown, if it's Super Bowl or bust, Ed Policy wants to live up to that standard. Now, if the Packers don't meet those expectations, if they don't go from good to great, what is Ed Policy going to do? So those are my three names, including the Nathaniel Hackett as the honorable mention. I love Matthew Golden as my number 3, Isaiah Simmons at 2, and Ed Policy. Those are my 3 guys that have intrigued me so far in the first few days of camp. Mertzy, who stands out to you?
Interesting, Pablo. And I didn't expect 2 non-players to make your list, but it's a fascinating discussion at that top level, just starting backwards here on Ed Policy. And we talked about this a couple years ago when I came in for Saturday Scramble about what he brings, kind of his championship pedigree from his father, Carmen. It is one of these periods in time for the Packers where they're going to have to make or break. I checked this out. This is the 3rd longest drought in Packers history of not having a championship. Obviously, the long one from the Lombardi area to the Favre, and then before that, from 44 to 61. We're coming up on, this is 15 years now since the Packers' last Super Bowl championship. You can be competitive for a long time, akin to like our conversation probably will go with the Brewers and having that bite at the apple continually, but you need to get over the top at some point. And I really, really, really hope that the Packers respond this year to that kind of pressure.
Who do you think, if you could pick somebody, whether it's this group that I put at you or just in general, who is somebody not named Jordan Love that you feel like could intrigue you this season, that you want to see make the jump, whatever the case is? Who's the biggest story to you?
Yeah, and so I'll back off. It's not the biggest story, but someone, when I was looking at the roster and thinking about what could be done, what needs to be done, it's interesting that you mentioned Isaiah Simmons, Lucas Van Ness. Yeah. This is a guy that you need to have some production. 7 sacks in 34 games over the last couple of years. Can he translate his athleticism into production? You need a guy like that to take some of the heat off of Rashawn Gary up front. I also think that Kenny Clark needs to have a bounce-back year. There's got to be a little bit more up front for these guys, as much as going on in the back end that I think I'm pretty excited about in terms of the competition in the secondary. Need some pressure up front.
The defense, as they said on the SportsCenter on the road interview yesterday, the offense won't admit it, but the defense won. Hey, I love that back and forth already.
Yeah.
Love that they got that moxie ready to go. Riley, it sounds like you got something back there.
I do, and I'm glad we're talking about the defense because the guy who caught my eye is Nate Hobbs.
Yep.
Ooh, yes.
Very thin cornerback room, hence having to move Bo Melton from wide receiver to cornerback. So I'm really excited to see what he does this season. Also, he had a great line with the media. I believe this was yesterday or a couple of days ago. But listen to this. Listen to Nate Hobbs talk about this Packers defense.
I think the personality is we on whoever want to do whatever, we gonna take it there. The rest of the defense, I think I'm running around with a pack of dogs. We run to the ball, we try and get the ball out, we try and belt to ass. BTA. You know what I'm saying?
BTA.
Pack of dogs. Belt the ass. BTA. I love Nate Hobbs already. This guy's going to be awesome.
Oh, man, that's going to be fun. Yeah, Nate Hobbs is going to be – it's really going to be interesting to see what that secondary looks like for the Packers and, you know, what it's really going to look like. Again, I'm just really high on Isaiah Simmons. I think this is a guy who's just been really waiting to prove himself, who's had some opportunities that haven't really panned out rather. But now that he's in this mix, he feels like that he's rejuvenated. I mean, maybe that's just what we all need. We need a new place. And Josh Jacobs, too, was even just like had even said that as much as of a lead rusher that he wasn't with the Raiders, I don't remember if he played in the Vegas era, but still, regardless, is that, you know, he just, he felt like that he changed a little bit coming to Green Bay. He loved the creativity. But I do want to see less carries from Josh Jacobs, believe it or not, because then that means I think that's more of a spread out dynamic offense.
Well, and just, it's going through my mind, obviously Jordan Love just did not seem himself physically last year, and so that's a big part of it as well. I want to see him healthy back out there again, because I think that'll help a lot in terms of the dispersal of pass to run ratio. It just seems like they were limited in what they felt comfortable having Jordan Love do last year.
Yeah. Well, hey, on the other side, we've got Jason Wilde joining us in just a few minutes. We'll take a quick breather here. A lot more to dive into as the off day of training camp. I'm sure Jason's probably going to be enjoying himself a little bit too. Before the pads get on, he is coming up next. This is the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz on 100.5 ESPN.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Delta Dental is proud to sponsor Family Sundays at Helfair Field. Play catch on the field on Sundays from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. prior to Brewers' regular season home games. Admission is free. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org, insured by NCUA.
It's all about the green and gold and nonsense on Kyle, Brust, and Nordman.
He has been crowned a franchise quarterback, and he has earned that. I think that's glued on his head. I don't think that's going anywhere. Glued to his helmet. Top 10? Now a top 10 quarterback, that's a crown that's maybe a little bit more iffy.
Kyle, Brust, and Nordman. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, those are crystal clear. Cheers! With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life. Hey, my name is Stacy Bruner. I was Bucky Badger from 2010 to 2014. My most memorable sports moment was running out the flag at the 2013 Rose Bowl versus Stanford. Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. He knows it all about the green and gold.
Well, first of all, knows it all is definitely not accurate.
Well, he still knows a lot more than we do.
And I'm fine with that. I don't really like to be the center of attention like Riley does.
It's Jason Wilde on Saturday Scramble.
I need some good news. Send me sipping on cold truth.
You know what that sound means, and you've heard it from Big Voice Pete. This is one of my favorite intros that we have. It's just so soothing. It's perfect. And of course, it's perfect.
It's soothing and upbeat at the same time.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. And when I think of soothing and upbeat, I think of the man, the myth, the legend. He is joining us now, the host of Wilde and Tausch, one of the hosts, great hosts of Wilde and Tausch. You can hear from 9 to noon here on 100.5 ESPN and across ESPN Wisconsin, and also read some great stuff from him on channel3000.com. He is Mr. Jason Wilde, joining us on the Saturday Scramble as always. Jason, good morning. How are we doing today?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, I thought this song fit for the reasons you stated. Plus, I'm still in the journalism game, which is news, whereas Mertz, who was way smarter than me and got out of it, and now just does it on the side a little bit. So I do like this song, and I hope I deliver some good news to you three today.
Well, Jason, I also got to say, too, I got to point out, I know you and I have talked about it, your role with Channel 3000. You're also going to be jumping more on the TV side and being that reporter as well. I watched some of your stuff this morning. You're looking pretty sharp. I like it.
All right, well, you obviously, I trust your judgment because you have a background in that. I've gotten to do a lot of TV over the years. My favorite thing, though, was when in the early days of my career, First Take, which had previously been Cold Pizza, started doing something, man. and it wasn't the First Take we have now, where it's hot takery. It was all about like reporting and information, and so every week they would have reporters from each of the NFL cities or divisions talk about their division. So I would be on, they had to set up cameras and everything else. I'd have to go to Lambeau to shoot it, and it was great. And then on the rare occasions that I couldn't be on camera, they created this, and I think, Riley, if you Google this, you might be able to find it. They created this graphic where they took my head, and since I'm not really a suit guy, they put my head on some other dude's body, and boy, he was ripped, by the way. He looked great. But it was such like, it was in the early days of Photoshop too, so I wouldn't say it was the best Photoshop work I've ever seen done, but yeah, the folks that watch Channel 3 are getting the authentic me, which is generally a Channel 3 quarter zip, because we can't go on TV with the T-shirts and hoodies I normally wear to practice.
Hey, you never know. Things have changed. Before I moved on over here in the TV world too, hoodies and a suit jacket or a sport coat It's a strange move. I think who usually does. I think it's Rob Havenstein on or what's his name? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he does that on the Amazon pregame show. So Jason, if you want to get experimental, I give the full blessing. I think you can pull it off. Give it a shot. Give it a try. I'd say like a thinner hoodie. Though I wouldn't say
you can't have like a bulky sweatshirt type thing.
I think you and I both have the same orange WNBA hoodie. That's a sweet hoodie. Don't get me wrong. Don't wear that one with the sport coat, Jason. So just giving you some fashion tips here too.
I appreciate that. I will also. I probably won't wear the amount of Oregon gear that I have in my closet either.
That was
not
my
great
first
for
thought.
the local viewers. Thanks, Mertz, for looking out for me, buddy.
No, a lot of neon probably too. Right?
Yeah, that's not good for the aperture of the camera. My understanding is. So I'm learning all kinds of stuff.
Learning all kinds of stuff, and that's exactly why we have you here, Jason. First 3 days of camp are in the books. The Packers having today off. Pads are on tomorrow. Your takeaways from the first 3 days. Let's jump into that.
Well, so I didn't get to tune in because Paula and the girls are at the University of Minnesota for their gymnastics camp, which I wish there was more money to go around in the UW athletic department because gymnastics was eliminated the same time as baseball was, which prevented my walk-on attempt at the University of Wisconsin
for gymnastics
baseball,
or baseball?
Not gymnastics. Yeah, exactly. I knew I was setting you up there.
And fencing. Don't forget fencing,
by
Wilde.
the way, you're right. Great memory. But I would have failed at all three of those walk-on endeavors, so it's not a big deal for me. But the Gophers, they do a really nice job, so they're having a great time up there. So I'm by myself, just me, the two dogs, the 7 cats, and the hamsters and the fish. And so I didn't get to listen, but I saw your walk and talk on your social media. And did you already unveil the 3 or 4 players that have kind of caught your attention that you're curious about?
Yes.
Did you get to that portion?
We have in the last segment. So the 4, the honorable mention at our 4th is Nathaniel Hackett. These aren't necessarily just players. These are big names that have stuck out to me over the first 3 days. So Nathaniel Hackett coming back, being in that non-traditional role, being on the defensive side. I went with number 3 is Matthew Golden. I think that's an obvious one for a unit that's dropped a lot of passes last season, the most passes, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Matthew Golden looks like he's starting to already excel. He knows that the pressure is on. He handles it well, and I know that you've talked to him pretty candidly about that too. The second, Isaiah Simmons. I love that Josh Jacobs called him a unicorn. The fact that Josh Jacobs is giving him that type of backup, and Josh Jacobs knows because Isaiah's been looking at him. He knows that speed kills. And the fact that this has already been backed up without the pads being on, Isaiah Simmons, I said it, obviously not from an interception standpoint, but I think he could be the Xavier McKinney type of impact player that will surprise us on this defense come this season. That's where I'm going with. And the last one is Ed Policy, transitioning in from Murphy to Policy. You said it. I keep quoting you, is that Policy is not a guy who believes in lame duck years. He wants to, what does this mean now for Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur, and Brian Gutekunst coming into a pretty important season for these guys? And those are, again, my honorable mention and my top 3 guys. So what do you think of the list?
It's a good list. It's a really good list. And I talked to all of those guys. In fact, one of the stories that I'm trying to get caught up on, because so much has gone on in the first 3 days, I do want to write about Isaiah Simmons because I'm intrigued by him too. Let's start at the honorable mention group, though, and talk first about Nathaniel Hackett. Look, Matt LaFleur is not perfect by any means. But one of the things that he does, and he picked this up from Sean McVay, and I just think it's such a smart thing on so many levels, is he brings in guys that have coaching experience, many of them head coaching experience, but he takes whatever their background is and he flips it. And so when he brought in, this all started with a guy named Aubrey Pleasant, who I think played for the Badgers, if I recall correctly. He was an assistant in Detroit. He got fired. And for the back half of a season, Matt LaFleur brought him in, but he was a defensive guy. Did he play safety for the Badgers, corner?
That safety was my recollection.
Okay. I know I could count on you, Mertz. So he he brought him in, but he had him work on the offensive side of the ball, looking at the offense through a defensive player's kind of prism. And that's just continued. He did it with Robert Saleh, who he had on the offensive side last year. After Luke Getsy got fired in Vegas, he brought him back, put him on the defensive side of the ball because he was an offensive coach, and now he's done the same thing with Hackett. And not only does it give a fresh perspective, which I think is smart, but it also prevents the, creating some sort of tension with the guy. Like, you bring in Robert Saleh, you have him work with the defense. What does that do to Jeff Hafley? Like, Jeff Hafley's the defensive coordinator, right? We don't need another cook in our kitchen. So I think it's really smart on both of those levels. Matthew Golden, I had a couple of great conversations with him. I saw he told everybody else what he had told me earlier in the week yesterday, which was about this thing where he writes his goals on a mirror, which, again, I'm going to have to ask him. I did not ask a good follow-up. Do you use lipstick? Do you use a Sharpie? Like, what do you do? But he started doing that when he was 6 years old. He watched the NFL draft, wrote that his goal was to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL. He was 6. I don't know about you, but even though I knew I wanted to be a sports writer from a very young age, I didn't know when I was 6. And so the fact that he did that in all the different places he lived, he had a very kind of nomadic life with his mother and his grandmother, struggling when he was young, and he had a night where he slept in his family's car outside of a Walmart. I mean, he is a testament to determination, and he has looked the part. Now, again, we got to hold off on making too many, pronouncements about him. But I have drawn the comp, and Tausch loves it when I make comparisons. Although mine from last year turned out pretty good. I've compared him to Greg Jennings. He's extremely smooth with the way he moves in and out of his breaks and everything else. And he catches the ball really, effortlessly, which, as you pointed out, Pablo, was a bit of an issue for this team.
A little bit.
I am intrigued by Isaiah Simmons. Like I said, I want to write about him today or tomorrow because, I don't think he's going to be their McKinney, Pablo. I think he's going to be their Zach Bond and what Zach Bond, the former Badger, did for the Eagles, where he's a largely inexpensive pickup. Don't really know what he's going to be. Now, is he going to be first-team All-Pro like Zach Bond was? I'm going to lower my expectations slightly from that, but I think he can really help them, and they're really excited about what he brings to the table. And then finally, Ed Policy, we sat down with him in the alumni suite about a month ago. Everyone else had beers after we were done. I had a bottle of water and attacked the cookie plate, which is on brand for me. But he's, what I loved about him yesterday especially, and I'm just finishing up my Mark Murphy story now, what I loved about him yesterday was he made yesterday all about Mark and not about himself. There's plenty of time for him to talk about his vision for the organization and everything else. He focused it on it being, really, truly Mark's last day on the job. And so I think that's a terrific list. Couple people that I would add to it. And again, we'll see how the training camp plays out. We're 3 days in. They got the day off today. They got their pads tomorrow for the first time. But one of them is Rasheed Walker. I just love the guy's attitude, and I respect the heck out of him. They're trying to give away his job again to a first-round pick. And so far, because of guys missing time, Jordan Morgan hasn't taken a single left tackle snap with the ones. And Rasheed had a great line because he said, "What am I supposed to say?" And I replied by saying, "I don't know. I would say, hey, man, I've started 35 games here. I think I'm pretty good at this if you look at the film. And, hey, I saved your asses when Bakhtiari was only able to play one game in 2023. Maybe you should put the first-round pick at some other spot and have him challenge somebody else." I said, "That's what I would say, but I'm soft and my feelings are easily injured." And I said, "How do you channel that in a healthier way?" And he had this great line that I think I want to steal. He said, "They don't make Band-Aids for feelings." And I thought, what a great way to look at it. It's just like, hey, I want to go work my tail off, and I'm going to show these guys that, again, you can try to give away my job, but you're not going to succeed. So I would put him on that list. I really want to see, when the pads come on tomorrow, what the guys up front do on both sides of the ball, but especially the defensive line, because that is the one area, as good as they were defensively. Rashawn Gary has not played at the level of his contract. Lucas Van Ness has not played at the level of his draft status. Neither has Devontae Wyatt, except for a couple of games early last season before he hurt his ankle. And Kenny Clark is coming off of a really down season when he played through an injury and didn't really tell anybody how severe it was. So that, to me, is the group that I would put on your list as well, because I am very curious to see what they do going forward.
We got to keep adding on to the list here, too. I know that you've unveiled your top Packers of 2025, too. That ended last week. So I just tried to do my best Jason Wilde impression as best as possible. Once again, Jason Wilde joining us here on the Saturday Scramble. Oh,
you wear too cool. You wear too hip of clothes to try and imitate me. More hoodies, more shorts. I am proud of my Nike Air Max 270 collection.
Ooh.
I do think that I've got a pretty good number of outfits for that, but beyond that, yeah.
That's a timeless.
You're way hipper than me.
That's a timeless classic, Jason. I think you're doing the right things. Like we'll chat a little bit more about this too, and how to stay fashionable. Don't you worry. Jason Wilde again joining us here on the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz here as the Packers have the off day heading into the padded version of training camp. Now, Jason, you mentioned the trenches. Both sides are going to be intriguing. Zach Tom gets his payday, but Elgton Jenkins right now on the non-injury list. Seems like there's some back and forth there. I believe Sean Ryan is going to be moving or has slid into the center role. As good and versatile as this offensive line can be, I mean, do you feel like that there's any worry? What's happening right now with the offensive line, and do you feel like that that's going to be something that you're going to be watching come tomorrow when the pads are on?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I don't think they're at a point where they're necessarily worried now, today, but sooner or later, which is a Matt Carney song, they have to figure it out. And they have to figure out the situation with Elton. And I did not find what Goody said at the beginning of the week in any way, shape, or form something that sounded like he has any interest whatsoever in paying Elton Jenkins guaranteed money that he doesn't have to pay him. It sounded more to me like his mentality was, hey, we've done right by you so far, and if you play well, we'll do right by you again, but we're not going to give you the security you're seeking, which, again, I get that, and I've taken a little bit of shrapnel, as Tausch likes to say, from our fans, who we've spent a lot of time talking about this, but I think it merits that much conversation, because let's not forget, the Packers predicated their entire offensive line rebrand or renovation project, like they renovated the locker room, on Elton Jenkins moving to center, right? He's a two-time Pro Bowl left guard. And they went out, and instead of replacing Josh Myers with a new starting center and signing that in free agency, what did they do instead? They signed a left guard. They gave Aaron Banks $77 million, or at least $27 million guaranteed in year one, and we'll see if he gets all 77 of it. But I thought it was really interesting that was the approach they took. So if I'm looking for an opportunity and I'm Elton Jenkins to say, hey, man, I'm not looking for more money. I just want the money you have in my contract. I want some of it guaranteed, so I know I'm going to be here this year and next year. I don't think that's unreasonable. But if you look at where they were yesterday, Elton Jenkins is still on the non-football injury list. Whether his back injury is Rodney Dangerfield-esque, or if it's authentic, I don't know. I haven't talked to him. And he's not going to say, yeah, I'm faking it, Jace, because I don't want to practice because they won't pay me. But I don't know the seriousness of it, okay? Aaron Banks didn't practice yesterday either. He does have a back injury that cropped up during practice earlier in the week. So they had Travis Glover taking some first-team reps at guard. Like you mentioned, they've been moving Sean Ryan from right guard to center. And then they've played Jordan Morgan, who is supposed to be competing at left tackle, to right guard. He's also played at left guard. And so, it's just been kind of a jumble the first 3 days. And so I would think that it's got to be important to these guys to, at some point here, get the guys that they want to be their starting five lined up together. Now, does it have to happen on, July 27th tomorrow? No. But sooner or later, those guys need to start working together. And so I'm eager to see what that timeline looks like. But that is important. And I would argue that Elton Jenkins still is the linchpin of that whole reorganization, because I don't think they want to be moving more pieces around than they already have.
Thanks for getting into him, Jason. That was top of mind for me in terms of picking your brain about where you fit in. And I mean, I take what they're trying to do is a credit to Elton for the versatility that he's shown throughout the years. And I also just want to state that Pablo's unk, so he probably already got the Rodney Dangerfield reference. But that was my arm from Caddyshack.
Yeah, jeez.
Hey, Willie, looking ahead, because I like doing this as someone who's not in the ins and outs of the season. The Packers' schedule, those first two games are like high on my mind. With 2 games in 5 days at home, Lions coming in, Commanders coming in. How big is that in terms of where the focus of this team has to be ready to play on day one?
Yeah, not only that, but they're both at home, as you mentioned, and to me that's another issue, because this is one of those years where they only have 8 home games in the imbalanced schedule. So that means after 5 days of the season, they're down to 6 more home games. So I mean, again, NFL players and coaches don't think the way I do, but I'm thinking, holy cow, what a hole you'd be digging yourself if you started 0-2 at home against 2 NFC, conference contenders, right?
Huge.
So I don't want to, nothing's a must-win until you're facing elimination, but you better win. If it's not must-win, it's definitely close to that. So, if they get out of that 1-1, I think that's fine, right? If they come out of that 0-2, I think you're nervous. And if they come out 2-0, hey, the expectations and the excitement level are going to go through the roof. But you're right. Thinking like the old sports writer you are, that is a daunting start. And whether or not they can come through that and be, in a good position, setting themselves up for the rest of the season. Because to your point, it's not just the start of the schedule that's difficult. I mean, I've used this joke a bunch, but I really like it, and plus I'm a big fan of the Fox River Classic Conference. They ain't playing De Pere and Ashwaubenon, which is basically what they played last year by playing the AFC South. Like, they're playing a really good division in the AFC North, and that's going to be a challenge. I understand that, obviously the Browns are the Browns, but who knows what the Steelers are going to be? We know Baltimore is going to be good. So they've got some big-time challenges on their schedule, on top of the fact that they've got some other really challenging games in the conference, including the primetime game against Philly. And Bears team that I am convinced is going to be better, because they finally have a coach that's going to be able to get the most out of the quarterback, and they've done that for years when they've struggled in that. So I think it's going to be a challenging year. They could go.
Hey, Jason, it sounds like you're breaking up a little bit here. I don't know if we want to try to hang up and get you real quick on this, or what we want to do there. Let's try it again. Maybe it's cleared up.
I'm standing by my window.
Nope. That's it. We want to try to bring him back. No, unfortunately not. We do have to keep it to the schedule. Tough way to have to break up Jason Wilde on that one, but you can hear him weekdays 9 to noon here on 100.5 ESPN. Jason Wilde, a lot of stuff too. He probably needs to get some rest anyway, because hey, today is his off day as the Packers get ready to put on the pads. Going to be interesting to think about. I wanted to know too what he would think too, because it is interesting. Before we get to break, I do want to talk about this a little bit too. Is that not only are they going to be facing a tough AFC division, but let's look at this too. The Packers were only 1-5 against the NFC North. That's what I wanted to talk to him about that too.
Yes.
And this isn't an NFC North that has gotten softer either. I've seen this too from Ben Johnson taking the first teamers off the field right away because they couldn't get into formation. I'm not saying that the Chicago Bears are going to go out and run and take the Lombardi Trophy, but at the end of the day, we'll talk about this on the other side a little bit too, is that this is not your regular NFC North. What this all is going to look like, we'll talk about that on the other side before we get to the 11 o'clock hour. Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz. Fortunately, we had to cut off Jason Wilde a little bit, but again, you can hear him on Wilde and Tausch 9 to noon weekdays here on 100.5 ESPN. This is the Saturday Scramble. We will take a quick break.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
ESPN Madison is proud to partner with Mentoring Positives for our 3rd annual ESPN Madison Open. Mentoring Positives is a nonprofit based right here in Madison and is dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. As a trusted presence in the community, Mentoring Positives has been helping young people build confidence, leadership, and purpose for 20 years. They're changing lives right here in our community. Visit mentoringpositives.org to make your impact today. That's mentoringpositives.org.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the podcast, Marcus and his son Chris react to NBA headlines. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Ever thought about hitting a golf ball in Camp Randall Stadium? Well, now is your chance. On August 1st and 2nd, you can enjoy a VIP experience while hitting tee shots from the upper deck throughout the stadium down to custom greens on the field below. Start and end your round with great music, cold beers, food, and numerous golf challenges. Event is open to all ages, but hurry because tee times will go fast. Go to upperdeckgolf.com to book a tee time today. That's upperdeckgolf.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Lots of top to Giannis. Whoa, what a play!
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Underneath it, bump set, left side, powers it down. What a rally, and Wisconsin comes out on top.
And now, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Fly ball to center. It is way back, and it is gone!
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Coming September 2nd to ESPN Radio, The Rich Eisen Show.
He is none other than the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, Deion Sanders. Look at you,
Humble miss. The Rich Eisen Show.
None other than Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. How you doing, Jordan? Good to see you.
Good, Rich. How you doing?
Happy to have you back, Steve Sarkisian.
Appreciate you having me on, Rich. Rich Eisen, coming September 2nd on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done.
It's a lot of yacht rock going on. A lot of yacht rock. Don't you cry no more. Yeah. Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz here. This is the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN, live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Unfortunately, Jason Wilde having some phone issues, but a great conversation there. We probably could have talked for hours on end about that. Unfortunately, like I said, we had to part ways. Wanted to know what he had to say, but we did get into a little bit of that conversation towards the end that he was talking about. Mertz, you asked about the schedule. The first few games of the Packers feel like a gauntlet. Don't get me wrong. You face the Lions, and then you face a young, up-and-coming team in the Washington Commanders, but also When we look at that, one of those two games is already week one. You've got a divisional, or rather, you've got a divisional matchup right there in the NFC North. You got the Lions and the Packers facing off right then at Lambeau Field. And this is a tough season for the Packers, who are coming off a 1-5 year. I don't think anybody wants to do that. I mean, you have the same record as the Chicago Bears in the division. That's not something that you want to have if you're the green and gold and your mighty title town and everything. Not to try to take shots or anything left and right. Just saying. Just saying. I feel like Riley's got
all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm surprised the Kawhi laugh didn't come in there. I thought that's what was going to be coming up. Yeah, thank you.
Where are you going with this, Pablo? You have something to say?
No Seinfeld beep. Anyway, but no. Okay, we got more. Got more of them. Thank you. There we go. Oh, they're just getting. This whole segment's just going to be hot.
I'm just going to start spamming the hotkeys.
Just dumping sound.
No conversation here. But no, it's you do have to think about what the Green Bay Packers, what is this going to look like? How are they going to attack the NFC North? Look, if you want to have those Super Bowl or bust aspirations, not only should you be beating the good teams in other divisions, you got to make sure that you take care of what needs to be taken care of in your division. So, Mertz, I want to ask you, and I want to hear from you too out there, 844-770-3776 on the Carbless Talk and text line, also in the ESPN Madison YouTube comments as well. Who do you think poses the biggest threat for the Green Bay Packers within the division right now? The Bears have hired Ben Johnson. J.J. McCarthy is going through that transitional season. It's I guess his rookie year, if you want to consider it that, first year playing with the Minnesota Vikings. But we know what Kevin O'Connell can do with quarterbacks. He did it with Kirk Cousins. He did some magical stuff with Sam Darnold. So I wouldn't write off the Vikings just yet. And the Lions are the Lions. Even though they lose Ben Johnson, they lose Aaron Glenn, they still have Dan Campbell. And Dan Campbell has even said it too. It's probably the best compliment when all of your coordinators are getting poached for head coaching jobs. I think that is a very good way to put it. And it's a testament to the type of organization and the type of team that he runs. So, Mertz, out of those three teams that the Packers face the most, who do you think poses the biggest threat this upcoming season?
Yeah, don't cry too hard for the Lions, because the Eagles just lost both their coordinators and happened to win the Super Bowl. So it can be done. I think that my money is still on the Lions in terms of winning this division. You're getting Aiden Hutchinson back. You do lose a lot elsewhere on defense, but they've just built something there that I couldn't see coming. For 30 years of really bad football out of Detroit, they've built this culture that I feel like can pick up where they left off. I do think the Vikings are going to take a little bit of a step back. And that's not a rip on J.J. McCarthy. I think there is that adjustment period of the quarterback. I think just in general, they're going to take a step back. I do put the Packers at number 2 in that division, fighting chance. But that's what strikes me about that first game of the season. You got to win that. I feel like if you want to win that division, you got to win that with that game at home against the Lions.
It sets a tone, and looking at the ESPN bet lines right now, that based off the NFC North, the Lions, no surprise, are the favorites at plus 145, but the Packers aren't too far either, plus 250. The Minnesota Vikings at plus 350, and the Bears at plus 450. That's exactly how I would have probably slotted this. I mean, we'll see. Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, what's going to happen there, and they go on that massive run. But anyway, it doesn't surprise me that the Packers are probably second best, because as much as we talk about, they lost their coordinators, Detroit's not going to be the same team. Again, it's still the Detroit Lions. It's not like they lost a massive amount of their roster. They did lose their starting center, though, who was with them for a long time, which is a huge piece to replace. We've even seen it with the Packers right now on their offensive line. Is that going to work out for the team? But I think right now that does seem like it's pretty accurate. I do agree, though. If you want to take a shot in the mouth, I've seen this so many different times. I saw it in Week 18 and Aaron Rodgers' final season a few years ago, where the Detroit Lions came in, punched him in the mouth. The first time that the Lions and Packers got to face off each other, I believe it was the Thursday night game, and the Lions just came in and just took the Packers' lunch and ran with it.
Absolutely.
So they bullied them at their own home field. So this is, as you said, the Packers have done it before. They've even gone into Detroit. They've gone into Detroit on Thanksgiving Day and ruined a national holiday, essentially, a big old holiday for Detroit. So they can do it. It's just a matter of there's so many layers, again, to this team that they can be good, but can they be great? How consistently can they do this? So I think, again, like we were saying, that, yes, the Packers should be able to come out and win this, or not should, they need to come out and have some sense of urgency. You hate to have that type of mentality week one, but I think in the best way, it does set a good precedent.
Yeah, and, looking in, fast forward to the back end of the season, traditionally they've loaded up the division games at the end of the year. Didn't necessarily happen last year, but 5 out of the last 7 this year are against NFC North foes, including 2 against the beloved Chicago Bears.
Hey, well, Ryan, the psychedelic advisor here on the Carbless Talking text line. Easy on my Bears, yet they still have to prove it. Oh, and who won the last game between Green Bay and Chicago?
That's the most Bears fan thing
seriously,
ever.
That's perfect.
Oh, my gosh.
That's perfect.
I'm so sick of this. My roommate is a Bears fan. Anytime you bring up anything related to the Packers, he's like, oh, Caleb Williams just want to know at Lambeau Field in 2025. Who has more wins in 2025, the Bears or the Packers? It's sickening. Sickening.
Hold on to what you can, right?
Exactly.
If that's all you got.
But
the Bears do have the Pope, though.
Clutch it like a little teddy bear.
Did you see that the Bears now have the Pope, and Chicago fans were at the Vatican City,
Pope.
handed him.
He's more of a baseball guy.
Yeah, he's a Sox fan.
That's what I like
baseball
to hear.
guy.
Yeah.
If the Pope, being a Chicago Southsider and knowing that the Pope, coming from a Catholic background too and everything, growing up in the south side of the city, knowing that the Pope is on our side for the Chicago White Sox, I'm going to take that one. But yeah, right now it's going to be interesting to see what the Packers do, how they're going to accept that test right from the get-go. But hey, take it a day at a time. They got today off. They put on the pads tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to see from there. We'll take a quick break. We're a little bit behind heading into the 11 o'clock hour. We got a fun version. We're moving up P versus ChatGPT before we get into Brewers talk. That is coming up at the 11 o'clock hour. Mertzy, I'm going to win this one. I'm 0-2, but don't worry. Every dog has its day. We're going to get the dub. This is the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz here on 100.5 ESPN.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Could Caleb Williams simultaneously, after 10 to 15 years in this league, be the second best quarterback from his draft class and be Hall of Fame worthy?
Sure, he has that kind of ability. I picked the Chicago Bears to be a playoff team this year. So if I'm doing that, that means I'm bullish on what Caleb can do in year 2. And I believe that Ben Johnson can get the best out of it.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
ESPN Madison is proud to partner with Mentoring Positives for our 3rd annual ESPN Madison Open. Mentoring Positives is a nonprofit based right here in Madison and is dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. As a trusted presence in the community, Mentoring Positives has been helping young people build confidence, leadership, and purpose for 20 years. They're changing lives right here in our community. Visit mentoringpositives.org to make your impact today. That's mentoringpositives.org.
This update's sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you.
Fans, here is the Quick Trip to the Ballpark ticket offer. Spend $200 at participating Quick Trip locations and get a free Terrace Reserve ticket to a 2025 Milwaukee Brewers home game. Check brewers.com/quicktrip for more details.
Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
It's time to think outside the pocket on Saturday Scramble.
I think the Bucks signed their souls away or something.
I look at the Bucks as Augustus Gloop.
Probably really smart, actually, because I write such long.
Yes! Clip that, Riley. Jason said that I'm smart.
I go to the gym to fight people.
That's awesome.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
The Saturday Scramble is back in action. Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz, live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Once again, the Saturday Scramble out here on 100.5 ESPN, also on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and on the brand new, lovely, customizable ESPN Wisconsin app. Once again, I'm Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz here at the Everlight Solar Studio, Riley Yauk behind the glass. We talked a little bit about all the Packers talk here. We talked a little bit about who the biggest threat is. I think it could be genuinely the Chicago Bears just because of what it already looks like with how Ben Johnson and even Dennis Allen on both sides, what they're trying to impose on the team. But do I see them winning the division? No. I see the Vikings probably a little bit of a slide back, and again, the Lions being the Lions. I did hear something though when I was with friends last night. Offensive coordinators. There were a lot of digs being taken at me and a fellow Bears fan that was also sitting at the table. Apparently, the phrase was that offensive coordinators are like grad students. I don't know exactly what the comp was there. I gotta get some context. So hey, if you agree with that too, 844-770-3776. The Cardinals Talking text line. List is more. Let me know how you feel about it. Also, let us know who you think the biggest threat in the NFC North is. But because we have Dom Cotroneo joining us later in the 11 o'clock hour, talking about Brewers, talking about, hey, it's July. We might be making a late run into October. We'll talk about that. But because of all that, we're sliding up our fun game that is P versus ChatGPT. Riley Yauk, take it away.
It's a tale as old as time. Man versus machine. Has AI surpassed us? Or will the indomitable human spirit reign supreme? Pablo Iglesias is our last hope. It's P versus ChatGPT on Saturday Scramble.
Oh, yeah. It's P versus ChatGPT. Mertzy, that's the first time you heard that intro. What are your thoughts?
So good. So well done. Our last chance for humanity.
And
Pablo Iglesias.
Pablo
That's
has
a lot of
failed
faith.
us.
I know.
The last two times.
I know. Strike three, buddy. Strike three.
Come on. I love being an 0-2 hitter. Come on now,
if
baby.
he can restore our faith in humanity, today's category is the top 5 greatest sports movie athletes. With the release of Happy Gilmore 2 yesterday, sports movie athletes, the best of the best, on top of mind. I actually watched the movie yesterday. Quick synopsis for you. If you're looking for great cinema, not for you.
Yeah.
If you want to see Happy Gilmore 2, you're going to love it.
It is a feel-good ride, just with a lot of cameos. That's how we'll go with it.
Yes.
But are we switching up the music, or are we keeping the Wild Wild West theme? I didn't know if we were doing that.
I already played It's Magic already today.
We did.
So I think we're going to leave the Wild West for today.
That's all good.
Pablo, would you like to go first?
Absolutely. So, gentlemen, because I'm chasing after this win, I will riff off my 5 here. At number 5, we mentioned him. He's back, and he's better than ever, but I got to go with the OG, Mr. Happy himself. Grip it and rip it as the John Daly. John Daly was also in the movie, too.
John Daly had a surprisingly large role in the movie.
No way.
Yeah, he's like one of the main side characters.
I love the sentimental. There's not to give too much away of this one, but the first part is first part that he appears. He's watching Love Island, which I absolutely loved. That John Daly is watching Love Island and how they wrote him in. So I've got Happy as the first one. I mean, that if you watch the OG one, you watch all that's just such a great, funny, feel-good movie. I love it. Number 4, this is another Adam Sandler collab, but I'm going with a different athlete that he was involved with in a film. Bo Cruz from Hustle. If you have not seen Bo Cruz and you have not seen Hustle, I highly recommend it, because essentially the way that I would describe it, it's like Rocky but for basketball. And you get a bunch of you get all the NBA players in here in the mix with all those cameos. But the reason why I picked Bo Cruz, it's such a cool story. It's a fun underdog type of thing where Adam Sandler picks up this guy from Spain. It's almost like a Giannis story, essentially. It's very much where this guy was undiscovered. Not a lot of scouts knew about him. Coming up from Spain, he's like, essentially, he was like the Greek freak from Spain. Came in, faced a lot of adversities, got an NBA tryout, really showed up and balled out, made it to the league. Highly underrated, Definitely recommend that movie. That's one of my favorites.
Nice.
I love
Mertz,
to.
have you seen
love
it?
to do.
I
love to watch
have
it.
not. I just wrote
neither
it down
have
and
I,
put it on
okay.
my list.
So watch Hustle.
'Kay.
Go watch Hustle. Number 3. Mama, I want to go fast, baby. Ricky Bobby, come on now.
Yeah. Well played.
Talladega Nights. I got to go with Ricky Bobby. It's a good laugh. He's a fun character. How do you not love Ricky Bobby? How do you not love
Absolutely.
Ricky Bobby? I want to go fast, man. It's like, well, what was it? What's the puma? What's the tiger on this car? It's like, that's you, Ricky. What does M-E mean? No, Ricky, that's you, as in me. Ricky Bobby, man.
Classic
all right.
movie.
Number 2, another Adam Sandler character, but also one. It was revamped, originally played by Burt Reynolds. Paul Crewe, The Longest Yard. The prison quarterback, man. I love both of those movies, especially the new one was the one that I fell in love with. You got to watch the OG, but the fact that they had Burt in the second one, but Paul Crewe, man, that's an absolute dog of a quarterback. So that's my number 2.
All right.
And gentlemen, at number 1 on my list, we've mentioned him before, actually. In fact, Mertzy, I think we mentioned him on the episode that you were here. A lovely 4th of July moment. When I think of summer, I think of baseball. I think of being a kid. I think about being on the old Sandlot. And who else deserves that number 1 spot other than Benjamin the Jet Rodriguez? So, folks, my top 5 list of all-time top movie athletes. Happy Gilmore at number 5. Bo Cruz from Hustle, Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights, Paul Crewe from The Longest Yard, and last but not least, Benjamin the Jet Rodriguez from The Sandlot. I think I got a great list compared to ChatGPT. I'm ready to take that dub now, Riley.
All right, this is definitely the most variability we have seen in P versus ChatGPT. There's so many options. ChatGPT, in my opinion, went a little bit off the wall for a couple of these. You guys can let me know what you think. At number 5 for ChatGPT, it went with Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
No way.
At number 5.
Number 5.
Fascinating. At number 4, have you guys seen the movie Any Given Sunday?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They went
This
with
is Pacino.
Oh, is this
it went with Willie Beeman, the quarterback.
Oh, no.
Steamin' Willie Beeman.
Wasn't that? Is that Pacino in every
Yeah, that's a Scent of a Woman,
Oh, never
right?
mind.
But yeah, but it's Pacino. It's still Pacino.
All right, Willie Beeman at number 4 from Any Given Sunday. At number 3, Jesus Shuttleworth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ray
from He
Allen.
Got Game.
I had Jesus down.
I like that. Number 2, Roy Hobbs from The Natural. And last but certainly not least, I think ChatGPT nailed their number 1, Rocky Balboa, the Italian stallion, at number 1. So a quick recap for ChatGPT.
Ooh.
Top 5 movie athletes: Benny the Jet Rodriguez at 5, Willie Beeman at 4, Jesus Shuttleworth at number 3, Roy Hobbs at 2, and Rocky Balboa at number 1. Mertzy, it now rests on you. Who is the victor here? Pablo Iglesias, is he off the schneid? Or does ChatGPT once again reign supreme?
So I did have some crossover in my mind. I had Jesus Shuttleworth in my list. I'm gonna give this one to Pablo because I like his Bo Cruz Hustle backstory. He sold me on that. He sold me on that story. And I knew that Benny was going to be there, and I say you had Benny before ChatGPT did.
Yeah, come on now. Benny the Jet at number 5. I know I missed out on Rocky Balboa, but you know what? A win's a win's a win. And I'm going to take that. First one in the column. We're going on a winning streak, baby. I love it. Oh, woo!
Nice work, Pablo.
I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. This has been P versus ChatGPT. The wins keep on coming, though. I'm not the only one that's sizzling hot right now. The Milwaukee Brewers are sizzling. I am excited to get to talk about that. The trade deadline is looming, so we'll get into that a little bit. Milwaukee Brewers, they are red hot, and I feel pretty good about this team. We'll talk about that next on the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias and Adam Mertz here on 100.5 ESPN.
Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
The GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. GRB Academy wants to be part of your plan to reach your potential. Utilize GRB Academy's 52,000 square foot facility, 14 batting cages, and 6,000 square foot weight room. Personal lessons at the GRB Baseball Academy are available year-round. With over 300 college players and over 150 Division I players, GRB has consistently led the way in the Midwest for college recruitment and player development. Visit their website, grbacademy.com, for more information. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
The sound of summaries on ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Madison's home of the Brewers.
Mizorowski deals. Struck him out. A heater at 101.
Catch every Milwaukee Brewers game this season on 100.5 ESPN.
Back and watching it sail. It's a grand slam.
Brewers baseball on ESPN Madison is presented by Hard Rock Casino Rockford and brought to you by Starion Bank and Sinden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Veterans, have you explored your benefits lately? The Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs stands ready to serve Wisconsin veterans, their families, and their survivors. With our partners like your local county veteran service officer, we can help access the benefits you've earned and the support you need. For more information, please visit wisvets.com. That's wisvets.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs with funding provided by the Milwaukee Brewers and the Brewers Community Foundation.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit condonjeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. Cheers! With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
After a storm, even seemingly small damage can lead to major problems. If your roof or siding took a hit with this recent storm, your insurance may cover the damage, but the process is still a nightmare. Badgerland Exteriors makes it seamless. They'll guide you through every step and get your family's home back in tip-top shape just as fast as that storm ripped through.
Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit badgerlandexteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's badgerlandexteriors.com.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th. Play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. Grab one with hot food. That's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life. Hey, my name is Stacy Bruner. I was Bucky Badger from 2010 to 2014. My most memorable sports moment was running out the flag at the 2013 Rose Bowl versus Stanford. Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Shake and bake, buddy! Shake it before you bake it! Here I come. Slingshot engaged. Dynamite! I love you, Cal! What are you doing?
I can't believe it. Now I've seen everything. Cal Martin from Denny Racing just helped a rival driver pass a teammate.
Mama, I want to go fast. You love to see it. You love to hear it. I'm going to jump on you like a spider monkey, man. We're still riding high off that first win against ChatGPT. I've done it. I've beaten Machine. I've done it, guys. I'm invincible.
Shake and bake, Pablo.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz here. This is the Saturday Scramble live on 100.5 ESPN, live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Riley Yauk behind the glass here, and Man, now like I said, I'm buzzing off the win of ChatGPT or against ChatGPT, but we're also buzzing a lot here. The new home of the Brewers. And yesterday, even though the Brewers lost, still great time to see the home run derby. A lot of Brewers of the past get to compete in that home run derby. That was a fun thing. It was also cool to see apparently like 30,000 fans, or something like that. Still, stayed.
It was the sixth sellout of the season. 42,000 fans were there to watch the Brewers lose to the Marlins 5-1.
Yep, that's
and
not
it
great.
appeared that about 40,000, between 40,000 fans stayed to watch the alumni home run derby. It was awesome.
And that is just one of the things where it feels like the fan buy-in is just across the board. It's never felt like that the fans have ever gone away from the Milwaukee Brewers, but it's just because, especially this year, outside of just the way that yesterday's result went, feels different. The Brewers since May 25th are 36-13. They're 12-1, or I believe 11-2 maybe in their last 13. Either way, they are coming out hot.
12-2 in their last 14.
Yes, 12-2 in their last 14. 2 losses. It were just 2 losses as a whole in the second half.
Yeah.
Yep. One to the Mariners, one to the Marlins.
Yep.
They are sizzling right now. And the trade deadline is coming up around the corner. We're also going to have Dom Cotroneo joining us in a little bit at 11:45 to talk more Brewers baseball of the Brewers Radio Network. And the trade deadline's around the corner. I do feel like, though, I believe in this team a lot. I believe in this team, and I think genuinely they could be – I don't even want to call them a dark horse because a dark horse just doesn't feel accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this team very much could compete for a fall classic because let's look at this. The last couple of weeks, you sweep the Dodgers within a 2.5-week frame, one here, one on the road. That just shows that you've got the type of moxie. I think this rotation, too, is solid. I don't think they need to add, but let's be real here. What does this team look like with Willy Adames or a Willy Adames-esque type of impact bat? I love to know that they're playing like the Pat Murphy ball. What are we going to call it? Murph ball, Riley?
Murph ball.
We're going to call it Murph ball. I love that they're playing Murph ball. They're playing that small ball-esque type of thing, but let me back this up. I'm a diehard Chicago White Sox fan. Fell in love with them when they won the World Series in 2005. They did it the right way of getting the right rotation. Pitching wins.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, hey, they had big bats step up, but you can't always rely on something like that, too. I think from the flip-flop of it, I think the Brewers do need to shell out some of the prospects and go after. Take a big swing at Eugenio Suarez. Take a big swing. Mertz, where are you at on this one? Whether it's Eugenio, the moves that they need to make to really be that fall classic contender.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. And let me back up one step because you were talking about were the fans ever off the bandwagon. I think that people were still hurting from the Josh Hader trade.
Yeah.
And the idea that that just signified to Milwaukee fan base of like, we're content with kind of being in contention. You keep coming to the ballpark and rooting on these hardworking Brewers that are going to give you a chance at playoff contention rather than going out there and winning it. And I think that there was a lot of enthusiasm lost and people who felt like the rug got pulled out from under them. This year seems like a return to that level of excitement you had in like 2016, 2017, 2018 when you had a team that was on the rise and had some real excitement. They're doing it the right way. So I do think it's important for them to make a move at this deadline. It's hard when you've gone 36-13, 12-2. You can look at that and rationalize it and say, we have the pieces here, and we're getting Rhys Hoskins back at some point, so we'll have a little bit more power coming back into the lineup maybe mid-August. I don't like the idea of counting on that, especially when you have that surplus of arms. When you have those guys at the AAA level that you feel like maybe you can hype up a prospect and get someone to bite on it. I don't know that they'll be able to compete against some of the other people in the market for Suarez. I would love to see him in a Brewers jersey, and I think they should try to figure out what they can do to make that happen because I do think they have the trade capital that they have not always had in the past.
And I get, too, that you don't want to give up all the prospects that you have there. I don't believe that Jesus Mate would be the guy that they would get rid of.
Jesus Mate cannot be
untouchable.
on the table.
He cannot, but I want to flip-flop this as somebody who has fallen in love with the idea of their prospects and their farm from a different side, from how Chicago was in 2021. Like, they were projected to be the team that was going to take over this decade, and it all fell apart.
Right.
You can only fall in love with potential so much. And I'm not saying this for Jesus Mate. What I'm saying is like at some point, if you feel like you have that window, you have to take advantage of it. Let's look at this. This is a strange comp, but also the Astros, even though that they were seen as cheaters, which, yes, they were found guilty, they could have gone on a run and won World Series like 5 straight years. They only came out with, 2, maybe? And that was in a cheating scandal era. So what I'm saying is I don't want to get too much into those weeds, but it's more of you got to take advantage of a window when you have it. I'm not saying that the Brewers need to start putting on buzzers on their chest, but more so from this one, getting back to it, trade some of those prospects, because if you have the opportunity to take that swing, I know Jim Rutledge had said, what was it, Freddie Peralta for...
Yeah, that's
the one guy I won't touch either.
Ridiculous. I
don't see that working out because it does feel like a rental for a rental. That just doesn't make a lot of sense for us.
If you're going to be trading for Eugenio Suarez, the Diamondbacks want a future, and the Brewers have plenty of prospects to give the D-backs a future. And I think... Personally, there is no better time than this year for the Brewers to make a move, because if you were watching the Home Run Derby broadcast yesterday, I don't know if he said it during the Marlins game or the Home Run Derby, but Mark Atanasio was on FanDuel Sports Network Wisconsin, and he said, and I quote, "Everything is on the table," and that he hopes the front office does something special. You do not hear that from Mark Atanasio.
No. Who would have thought? Who would have thought this would have been?
I missed that one. That's
now
huge.
is the time.
Yep.
Now is the time.
It feels like you have to put all the chips in, and I'm not. Sometimes, here's the thing, too. Sometimes you might have to pay a little bit more. Yes, Eugenio Suarez is the top guy on the trade deadline, or is going to be on that market. Josh Naylor has already been taken away from the Diamondbacks. I didn't really see him being the fit for the Brewers anyway.
Yeah.
It was just more of the big bat. He brings a big bat. That's good. But Ryan McMahon, I believe he was the third baseman for the Colorado Rockies, right?
Yep, now on the Yankees.
He got scarfed up.
He would have fit, don't get me wrong, but Eugenio out there, it's the longer you wait, it is just about that waiting game right now. And I'm seeing here on our ESPN Madison YouTube channel, feel free to drop in as well on the Carbos Talking text line, 844-770-3776. Are the Milwaukee Brewers finally all in this year? What do they need to do? Let us know. This is an interesting comment here from, is it Cheese Blood? I never thought of it.
Cheese Blood with a Z.
Yeah, Cheese Blood with a Z.
He was watching the Home Run Derby yesterday.
He was, but he does also say here, too, that they don't think they need anyone. Pitching will win them the World Series. Yes, pitching does win you the World Series. I think that is a proven, but we've also seen...
possible. I think the Brewers have tried that before.
Right.
And if the offense doesn't stay as hot, I think they will be able to generate runs in the playoffs like the way this team plays by putting so much pressure on a defense to be perfect 100% of the time. They can still scratch runs across, and their starting pitching bullpen is good enough to take them to a World Series. But if you have a big bopper and you can get a big momentum-changing swing from a guy like Eugenio Suarez, I feel like you have to at least entertain the move and consider getting a guy like that who can be a game changer.
Yeah, the other side of it, too, is that you have to try to take as big of a swing as possible because your division rival, too, in the Chicago Cubs, who although are sliding a little bit, they just got pummeled by the White Sox last night, too. I think it was a 12-5.
You enjoy that one a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm going to say that might be one of the few wins that actually matter to me this season as a White Sox fan, but... that the Cubs right now also are in the same market as the Brewers. They need to make the big moves. They need to take the big swings. It's not like they're running away with the division anymore. Heck, they're not even the best team in baseball. The Brewers have overtaken that, or one of the better teams in baseball, and with the division lead. So the pressure's on the Cubs too. So the other thing too is, like I say, take the big swing. I'm not saying dump your entire farm system, but you might have to gamble a little bit. You might have to put a little bit more chips in than you'd like, because if you're trying to play a little bit of that money ball, but you also want to win a World Series, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I'm just going to put it that way. That's where I feel like that if this is the year where the Brewers really want to go all in, where they really want to give it their all and win that first World Series title or have a taste at it at the very least, I know it's a risk, but sometimes you might have to give up a little bit more than you anticipated.
Couldn't agree more. This is the time. In fact, I thought that maybe the window had closed, on these Brewers because you thought that all the momentum was gone. You get the gift of Woodruff coming back, and pitching like he has, you have the Miz show up and have that kind of performance and production that he's had, that's just more fuel to the fire of you got to do something about this and make this run count.
They also have Robert Gasser, who's just designated for assignment down in Single A. He was fantastic last year, so he's going to come back. And that's the thing. Like, I don't disagree with Cheeseblood. I think the Brewers could make the World Series. They could win a championship the way their roster is currently constructed. But since they are just, like, they have a girth of riches, or a dearth. That's the word I was looking for. Dearth of riches.
Do you have to dump yourself now on that?
No, girth is fine. I just misspoke. They have a dearth of riches and just an overwhelming amount of talent. Like, this is the year it makes sense. The team is hot. They're the best team in baseball record-wise. You have a ton of extra capital you can give up, and there's a guy that would fit your roster perfectly out there, so there's no reason not to make a move, in my opinion.
Would you rather, because it feels like that you could be in the similar Bucks situation where you give up a lot of capital, but you try to take a swing at a championship. Hopefully this pans out if the Brewers were to make this move. But would you rather have the Brewers try to take this big swing if it's successful or not, or would you rather them just fold, drop their cards, try to see if there's a different situation, and not even take a massive hack at Eugenio Suarez if it means giving up some top-tier prospects?
I mean, here's the difference for me. You're not mortgaging the future.
Mm-hmm.
You are wasting capital if you don't make a move here with all of the pitching that they have at their disposal. There's too many guys for too few slots. Even if Woodruff moves on, even if Peralta moves on, like, you've got guys in the bullpen who are capable starters who could be moved in, and then you've got all these guys at AAA, and you've got Gasser even at a lower level at this point.
Exactly. So I'm personally, because now that we know for a fact, Mark Atanasio says it's not a money situation. I'm not going to be mad either way because I trust Matt Arnold and I trust his decision making. If he thinks that ultimately the price the Diamondbacks are charging for Eugenio is too much, I'm going to trust him on that. But if he decides to make a move, I'm not going to be mad about that either.
Is there anyone else on the market? And I think we could even ask Dom Cotroneo, who's going to be coming up with us in a little bit, actually.
Let's do that.
Yeah, we might. Let's pivot to that instead. Dom Cotroneo, the Brewers Radio Network, is going to be joining us in just a little bit. Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz here on the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN. Dom Cotroneo joining us next. We'll talk a lot more Brewers baseball here on the Saturday Scramble.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Hold your friends close and your rivals closer on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Okay, great idea. Ryan, you're going to be all in on this. Chrissy, you too, right? We have a steak cook-off, and then us three get to decide who is the better steak maker.
Matt can make the meal, I can make the drinks. So I was a bartender more than anything else.
Okay.
I'm in for that.
Make me a sick mocktail.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you.
Kids and seniors, Quartz wants to see you at American Family Field. On select weekday home games, kids 14 and under and seniors 60 plus can save 50% on tickets. Following the game, seniors may stroll along the outfield warning track. Visit brewers.com/kids and seniors to learn more.
Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Clinky Cleaners has been in business for over 65 years, and they've had document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems for right around 30 years. CFO Sean Young explains why.
Probably the best thing about James Imaging that's worked for us is they're reliable, they're dependent, they always make things easy for us.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and local people who make doing business easy.
They're quick to come whenever we need them, point out lots lots of simple things for us to try to save us some money and save us time and eliminate headaches.
So, Sean, the bottom line of having business technology from James Imaging Systems?
I just appreciate the work that James Imaging has done for us. They're always looking out for our best interests.
James Imaging Systems. Make it easy, save money, eliminate headaches. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
College students, are you looking to make your campus living more comfortable, functional, and fashionable this year? Let IKEA help. From innovative storage solutions and furniture to maximize your space, to fashionable bedding and accessories to make it uniquely yours, IKEA is helping make college living truly inspired by you. And now, qualified college students can save even more with 15% off their IKEA purchase when they sign up for IKEA Family for free. Visit IKEA Oak Creek, IKEA Schaumburg, or check out the Ready for College section on IKEA.com/US to learn more.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Coming September 2nd to ESPN Radio, The Rich Eisen Show.
He is none other than the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, Deion Sanders. Look at you, from humble miss.
The Rich Eisen Show.
None other than Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. How you doing, Jordan? Good to see you.
Good, Rich. How you doing?
Happy to have you back, Steve Sarkisian.
Appreciate you having me on, Rich.
Rich Eisen, coming September 2nd on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Check this out.
Yo, microphone check 1, 2. What is this? The 5 foot.
He swings and drives it. Left center field. He knows it. A bat flip. He's going to round the bases to celebrate. Keon Broxton is your Brew Crew anniversary team home run derby winner. Team Gomez waiting for him at the plate, and they did the bomb celebration like Prince Fielder back in the day. What a perfect cap off to this one.
Drink a lot of soda, so they call me Dr. Pepper. Refuse to compete with BS competition. Your name is special, so won't you suckle with the mission? I never walk the street, think it's all about me. Even though deep in my heart, it really could be. I just try my best to go all out. Some might even say you're shorty black, you're bugging out.
Zulu Nation, mother's last creation. Minds get flooded, ejaculation, right on the 2-inch tape.
The abstract poet incognito, see I run the cape, not the best, not the worst, but occasionally I curse to get my point across. So plus
This is the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN. Pablo Iglesias, Adam Mertz here. We are trying to get Dom Cotroneo on from the Brewers Radio Network here in just a moment. We talked about the sizzling team. We talked about yesterday, even after a 5-1 loss, fans still sticking around. Of course, you want to see the Brewers of yesteryear and enjoy that moment. It was cool to get to see everybody just, go Yabo. And I think who was it that walked off too yesterday? I can't remember who it was.
Keon Broxton.
And then that was an awesome walk-off celebration. But looks like we are ready to go. Mr. Dom Cotroneo, the Brewers Radio Network, is joining us. He was calling the action over on the extra social media platforms. You can check that out on our sister station at WTMJ. Dom, good morning. I know you're coming off the golf course. What an electric night it was yesterday, even after the Brewers lost, to be around that home run derby, man. What was that whole atmosphere like?
Yeah, I think for me, I was just grateful to not have to talk about a 5-1 loss after the way that how sloppy they played and how what a kind of a cruddy game it was. But yeah, there was electricity, man. Nobody left. Like, that was the coolest part because sold out crowd. There was energy in the building all day long. All the guys are signing autographs, being guest bartenders, coming up to the broadcast booth, and J.J. Watt throws out the first pitch. Like, it's just like the list goes on of all the stuff. Nate Bargatze was there. Like, it's just, the list was really fun. And then, of course, you lose the game, but to just kind of shake it off instantly and have that sort of ending with Keon Broxton and Corey Hart. I had Corey Hart on my program yesterday, and he was just like, look, I don't know where this came from. Like, this is fun. I just swung hard and hoped I hit it, and everything worked out.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you talk about it too. Just shake it off and move on to the next day. I mean, it feels like this team, especially coming to the second half, the way that the month and a half has gone too, They are hot. They are sizzling. It feels like a different crew. I mean, what are your expectations? How high of hopes do you have? We know it's late July, but it's never too early to start talking about October.
Yeah, I mean, that's already scoreboard watching season for me. I mean, shout out to the White Sox yesterday helping the Brewers out, beating up on the Cubs. So for my perspective is I think we can confidently say, I mean, this is a playoff team. And quite frankly, in May, I think everybody would have been shocked to say that, given they've got the best record in the National League since May 18th, which was the start of that week against Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and then started that 8-game winning streak on the end of that against the Red Sox, Pirates, and then the Phillies, and that sweep, that was huge too. So the fact that the Brewers have multiple 8-game winning streaks, some people would say, oh, that's too hot, you're peaking too soon. But to me, it's sort of like, hey, they're capable of doing it, and they're doing it against quality opponents. Obviously, the Dodgers catching them when you catch them, but doing it against the Phillies and doing it against what the Red Sox are doing now and doing it against teams that are going to be in the fold, because this team is still, I think it's 32-23 against teams above 500. That's the best record in baseball against teams above 500. So the expectations are, yeah, this should be the team that performs well in October.
You know, Dom, this team strikes me the way that they approach the game. They've adopted this perfect strategy for the pitch clock era of keeping that pressure on, and always the heat. And it was interesting against Seattle about how they were just able to stack hits, and there's nowhere to escape for a pitcher when you're in that situation. You can't be walking off the mound. You can't be kind of pulling the infield in. It's just a different ball game, and they seem to have maximized the rules that way.
Yeah, I think with the Brewers, as Pat Murphy said it the other day with the New York Post, he was talking to Joel Sherman and John Heyman over there on their podcast. Like, there's no secret sauce. Like, you play quality baseball, you're going to win a lot of games. And I was talking to some folks last year when the Rangers were in town, when the Brewers swept the Rangers, and they were, conspiracy theorists over there like, how did you guys know the pitch clock was coming and the stolen base rules were changing? Like, everybody can steal a bag on your team. Everybody runs the bases well. I think the Brewers formula, let's also be clear, home runs are still sexy. I'm never going to turn down home runs. And quite frankly, there are a few guys on this team that should be hitting more home runs. But yet, when you don't have the homers, you got to do something else exceptional. And what the Brewers do exceptional is they put the ball in play and they run the bases well. And you add up those two things, if you're not going to hit home runs, you can manufacture first to thirds. You can manufacture sac flies. You can manufacture, a base hit scores 2, that sort of thing. So I think the Brewers' formula is pretty simple offensively. That being said, hey, I would like to make a call to Eugenio Suarez. I still would really like to see him fit in on this team.
You see, we were talking about that too. You got to take a big swing. It feels like there's just something different about this season. Dominic Cotroneo joining us here, host of the Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ. Also, you can hear him throughout our coverage here on Madison's home of the Milwaukee Brewers baseball. Dom, the trade deadline is here around the corner. Of course, Eugenio Suarez is the big name. One, what do the Brewers need to do to take that swing at him? And two, if they don't go after Eugenio, hopefully he doesn't land with the Cubs, which I'm sure nobody wants to see, like especially with how tight of a race this is. Who are some guys that, if it's not Eugenio, who's on your wish list for the Brewers? Because it feels like you got to make a move. You got to rejuvenate this clubhouse, like you've said on a couple of our other shows. A good trade really helps a ball club like this.
It does. And I think I talked about this on my Brewers Weekly on Thursday night. I had Jeff Passett on the program too. And the thought is, hey, if you don't get Gino, it's not the end of the world, because the team is playing well. I do think they need bullpen help, because we just learned Nick Mears had his back lock up yesterday during his outing, and that explains why a guy that came in with 3 walks on the season walked 2 guys in the same inning. So got to monitor that. Got to monitor Jared Koenig. He has not pitched well against righties at all this season. So you need a little bit of help in that bridge of the bullpen before you get to Uribe and before you get to McGill to kind of lighten the load on those 2 guys. So I think they're definitely going to make some sort of bullpen move. But on the offensive front, for me, it's Gino or bust. I don't think there's anybody out there that you would spend prospect capital on that isn't, to the caliber of Gino. I mean, Ryan O'Hearn's a fine player, but if Andrew Vaughn keeps this up, and if, Rhys Hoskins comes back to the roster healthy, it's like there's no room for Ryan O'Hearn. And then you may say, oh, Luis Robert. Okay, there's still a lot of concerns with injury history, motor, that sort of thing. He is playing better as of late. Granted, now he's dealing with a groin. So that's a little bit of these rentals aren't the sexiest in the world. So in my opinion, the Cubs should be going after starting pitching, not more offense. They already have the best offense in the National League. If they try to overwhelm you with Gino, it's like, okay, every playoff game is going to be like a 10-9 stressful game. So they should be focusing their assets on pitching because they have none right now. Shota got beat up yesterday. The Brewers, it makes sense. Gino or bust. He makes this offense so much more powerful and so much more dynamic. It eases the pressure on William, who's only got 6 homers this year. There's just not a lot of right-handed power on this team, especially in Reese's absence right now. So for me, it's Gino's the only guy I really need to get.
The intriguing name that I heard on the pitching side was Pete Fairbanks, depending on what the Rays do here down the stretch. Do you consider that a possibility?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm personally friends with Pete Fairbanks. I've known him for a very long time.
Flex.
Back in the Rangers days. So I texted him the other day, and it was just like, hey, man, hopefully I see you later this year because actually I'm covering a game. I'm covering a Yankees-Rays game on Tuesday. So that would be a whole lot of fun to see him. But for the Rays, they're never the team that's going to make a splash. But they're so savvy with, hey, trading controllable assets and that sort of thing. He would technically be a rental. There are team options in the last 2 years of his deal. And he's suddenly not going to be the closer on this team because Trevor McGill's got that locked down. Perhaps that could work out for Pete Fairbanks. I wonder if they would do an in-division trade with, say, a Dennis Santana over with the Pirates. I think he's had a very underrated season, one of the best non-closer seasons we've seen this year. I'm also kind of a fan of Sir Anthony Dominguez with the Orioles right now. He walks a lot of guys, but he strikes out a lot of guys too. So they are going to be ringing the phone on bullpen help because, as we learned in the first half of the year, Yoho isn't quite ready yet. Hudson has really regressed this year. A tough thing to see. And when Rob Zastrucny gets back healthy, that's helpful, but you need somebody that can for sure get righties out.
Words are just hard right now. Dom Cotroneo joining us here as we start to wrap
a lot of
things up
vowels, a lot of consonants. There's a lot going on there. It's all good.
It's a smooth name, though, man.
It is.
I got to say, Dom Cotroneo joining us here. Just a couple more questions before we let you go. Brewers hopefully ready to really turn the corner. What is it about this team that excites you the most? We've seen a few different playoff teams go through it, but I don't know. Like it just feels like this is a different team. This is a different squad. This is an exciting squad. What is it about this year's team? If I could ask you to pinpoint one thing, what stands out this year compared to the last?
Christian Yelich is healthy. I think that's the most important thing. We all know 18 and 19, and think about it. We haven't had a fully healthy Yelly in the postseason since 2018.
Yep.
Like when you actually consider that, right? Obviously the knee in 2019. 2020 blip on the radar doesn't count to me. 2021, he was starting to deal with it. Didn't make the playoffs in 22. Was really dealing with it in 23 more than he let on. Obviously surgery last year. So the point being, this is the healthiest Yelly has been in 6 seasons or so. And he's going to cross over the 20-homer mark for the first time since 2019 here pretty soon. So the fact that he can be your anchor, your everyday 3-hitter in a postseason lineup and be, yes, that's the Christian Yelich we know and love. That's what makes me excited about this club because then you get to have these complementary pieces around him. We expect Sal Frelick to get activated today. You can get William going here in these final 2 months of the season. What a great year it's been for Bryce Terang. What a great year it's been for even a guy like Andrew Vaughn revitalizing his career. Caleb Durbin coming out of nowhere. That 1 through 9, even with Joey swinging the bat better lately, 1 through 9, there's not a single easy out in there. That's why I think I'm so excited with Yelly anchoring it all.
Just, hey, Dom, when Contreras came over, there was a lot of questions about his ability on the defensive side of the ball. It seems to me like, if nothing else, he's done a magnificent job handling this staff. What can you say about his progression as a defensive catcher?
It's funny. I was talking about this with Charlie Green last week right before the All-Star break and talking about some of the public-facing metrics on framing and blocking that we have and how the defense grades William, but then how the team internally grades William. And they're sitting there, it's like, we think he's way better than what the national metrics are showing for him. They are so thrilled with his blocking progressions this year, how much better he's gotten at keeping the ball in front of him. Obviously, he was throwing everybody out in the beginning of the year, too, which is super helpful to keep the running game at bay. But I think for William, the biggest thing for him is he is a Bulldog and he wants to catch every day. But I think this year he's understood a little bit more about how important he is on the catching side. Even when he's had a down year with the bat because of the finger and everything that's going on there, he can still impact the game even more so now than he did when maybe he first arrived behind the plate. And calling pitches, him and Freddie have a super synergy right now. I think him and Quintana have been great as well, as he'll be the battery today. I think for William, understanding that, yes, it's been a rough year offensively, but maybe his best year defensively, and that's a big reason why the Brewers are one of the best at holding runners at bay and trying to steal against them this season.
Dom Cotroneo, once again, part of the Brewers Radio Network. You can hear him here on the home of Brewers baseball in Madison. Dom, thanks again, man. Really appreciate you. Excited to see how the Brewers do. Appreciate your time, man. Hope you hit him straight, too, on the golf course.
Yeah, we shot a 76. It was a good day, boys.
Yes, I love it. All right, Dom Cotroneo, once again, you can hear him on Brewers Extra Innings. Appreciate his time. And that's almost just about the time that we have, too. Brewers baseball is going to be later today, 6:10 first start. We're just trying to get back into the win track. Jose Quintana on the hill, just like Dom said, against Jansen Junk. Just got to get a win. Just got to get a win today.
Absolutely. I was so impressed with them coming off of that 11-game win streak, dropping one to Seattle, and coming back and clobbering the Mariners the next day. That kind of showed me a little bit about the mentality of this team.
Hey, that's all you got to do. It's you just got to respond. That's exactly what Pat's team has been known to do. So we'll see how they do. We'll see how they answer. Maybe they'll get a little bit of that extra motivation from the guys from the home run derby yesterday. But for Adam Mertz and Riley Yauk here at the Everlight Solar Studio, I'm Pablo Iglesias. This has been the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN.
Greg Scalzi here for Total Athlete Performance. They're here to provide elite performance training for serious athletes in the Madison area. And there's a new Verona TAP facility open inside of the Verona Athletic Center. Summer speed, agility, and semi-private options are now available at both Verona and